What's up, guys? So spring's just begun and I'm about to start another project. So my family's growing. You wouldn't think as you get older that your family's gonna get larger, but yes, grandkids are on the way. So that means that this little tiny table behind me is just not gonna cut it anymore. I don't know if you've heard of Shou Sugi band, Shou Sugi. I'm not really sure how to say it, but it's the ancient art of Japanese wood burning where they burn wood to preserve it and keep it from insects and mold and basically breaking down. I'm going to make a table that seats 10 for my growing family, and I'm going to use Shou Sugi bond to treat it. So I chose not to use pressure treated wood. It's all Douglas fir, kiln dried from the big box stores. I'm going to build the frame, and then after that I'm going to use the ancient art of Shou Sugi bond to treat the wood, and then I'm going to use teak oil to preserve it, and then coat it again with a coat of spar varathane, and that's supposed to preserve it and seal the wood. Now, I've watched many videos because I wanted to find out what would be the best way to maintain this table and to keep it looking its best for year after year. And really, there is no one answer that will stop the wood from breaking down or the finish from deteriorating over time. So the spar varathane is supposed to last, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, depending on the situation, you know, the heating, cooling, how much sun's exposed to it, because it's really not the water that messes your finish up. It's more the sun that breaks it down. So you want to get some UV protection in your finish to prevent that. I'm not sure if it's better to treat each piece and then put it together, or put it together first and then, you know, flame the whole thing. I'm thinking I'm going to do the frame first, put that together and flame it, and then the top, the tabletop, I'm using 2x10x8. I Google searched the size table you need for 10 people to seat 10 people, and the recommendation was 96 to 104 inches long. So this table is going to be 4 2x10x8s. So that'll give me about 38 inches. There's also going to be a gap. I've seen a lot of people make tables and they don't put a gap between the boards. And I made that mistake when I made my table for my dining room. I used pocket hole screws and I screwed them all together so it'd be nice and tight. And as the wood dried, it split right down the middle. I was sitting on the couch and I heard a loud pop. And that was my dining room table completely splitting in half. So learn from my mistakes and keep a gap in there. It's just going to be better for your tabletop, and it'll also allow for drainage and stuff so water won't sit on top. Okay, so with all that being said, let's get started with this project. Thanks for joining me. I'll leave the dimensions down below if you want to try this yourself, and I'll leave a parts list of what I've used. Good luck if you try it. This should be a lot of fun. Just try not to burn your house down if you try this. Alright, this is a pretty basic table. Now I got everything cut. We're going to take it inside on a flat surface and we're going to assemble the whole thing. I'm going to use pocket hole screws to put the whole thing together, and then we'll see if it can withstand the flame. I hope this works. We're going to put a pocket hole in each end of these boards, and we're going to use Type Bond 3, which is rated for outside, weatherproof, waterproof, exterior glue, and put it all together on a flat surface so that there's no bumps or anything. We'll probably take it over to the deck. That'd probably be the best spot. Assemble this thing, and then we're going to set it on fire. Okay, so for the bottom of the legs here, you can see I marked the center line. Just go across diagonally and find the center of the leg. I bought these inserts off Amazon. I think they go into a 1/2 inch hole on the bottom, and then these feet just thread right into them. So you can see they got a little spike on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a 1/2 inch hole right in the center, 1.5 inches deep. I got my 1/2 inch drill. I got it marked with some blue tape. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to drill all these before we torch everything. The thinking behind the feet on the legs, the thinking behind the adjustable feet, is to keep them off the ground so that water doesn't seep up through. So that'll just kind of be one layer of protection. Like I said, I'm not real sure if it was better to flame everything and then take that dimensional lumber and cut it and put it together. So I guess we'll just see what happens. It's kind of an experiment in the making. I have a 1/2-inch piece of drywall down here to get the offset from the legs to the rails. To reinforce these legs so they don't move, I made these angle pieces, and it keeps everything square and everything. I'm gonna pre-drill. This one's already set. I got 6 screws in there. I got 2 4-inch deck screws going all the way into the leg itself, and then these are shorter, like 2-inch screws. And it's a real solid. The leg's real solid now. So I'm gonna go through and do that on all 4. And then I made two more pieces like this to go in the center here to keep everything held together. So okay, so here it is, our very sturdy table frame. I'm gonna let this sit overnight so all this glue can cure, and hopefully it doesn't melt when we torch it. So let's head outside and start on the top pieces. We got our 2x10s ready to go. It's time to get hot, baby. Okay, now we're gonna have some fun. All right, I got the board behind me up on some cinder blocks, keep it off the ground. And remember, use proper safety equipment. You should probably wear safety glasses. I don't have any with me, so I'm not going to. You want some oven mitts? I got these fire retardant gloves, just in case I need to grab the board. I also have a hose nearby so I can mist down the wood. Supposedly that's gonna stop it from warping. So as you flame it, you can kind of put it out if it catches on fire. So we're using Douglas fir, and we're gonna torch this whole thing. So the great thing about this technique is you don't have to sand the boards before you torch them, especially if you take them to the level that I'm taking it to, where you see the alligator skin. But when you do this yourself, you can really see it just form as you flame it. There you can really get a good look at that alligator skin that's on there. This is gonna come right off with a wire brush, and you're gonna see beautiful grain and the wood that's left behind. I don't want the backside to be as robust as the front because I want the back to still be kind of flat. So I'm just gonna go over the back just to hit it to make sure that if it does warp, it's gonna even itself back out. So let's hit the backside, and then I got 4 of these to do, so I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so this is where the magic happens. Make sure you wear gloves because you're gonna get black soot all over yourself if you don't. I have a very aggressive wire brush, and this is really gonna chew down all the alligator skin is gonna be gone, and this board's gonna turn real deep brown color as I remove all this soot. Now I have various brushes. I got a brass one that's a little bit softer, a smaller wire brush, and then this one's nylon. And depending on how deep you want the to remove the soot, depends on what brush you're going to use. We're just going to start knocking this off with this big brush just because it'll cover more surface area. And you can see how it just kind of peels away the soot and leaves a real nice you might not be able to see it right now, but when we go to finish this, the darker tones of the darker grain is raised up higher than the softer grain that I'm peeling away with this wire brush. So it looks like it gives it a real nice worn look. I'm just going to go ahead and keep peeling this away. It's nice it's windy today to carry some of this soot away because I don't want to be breathing that in. And just go with the grain. Look at that, that's beautiful. I haven't tried any of those little smaller brushes to see what the difference is. But that's really removing quite a bit. You can see what you're left with. This is gorgeous. Look at this. So we're gonna knock all this off and get our teak oil and seal up what's left. Now, you can see what I just did. I scraped it. Maybe I scraped it too far. Maybe this is a little too aggressive. Try a nylon brush and see what it does here. I don't know if you're on camera. Let's try. All right, so the nylon brush. Okay, that's a little bit less aggressive. I like that. That's nice. All right, maybe I'll use this. But yeah, this is, and it's leaving, you can see marks from that heavy duty brush. This is much less aggressive, and it's not really leaving streaks in the grain. So, okay. I don't know if this is going to be the underside or not. I'm going to do both sides. Scrape this away, and then when I'm done, we'll come back and I'll show you what's left. Yeah, it's got a real nice texture to it. It's nice and smooth, beautiful. So that's supposed to preserve the wood. There's the after scraping, and then before. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this board up. I'm going to do both sides. And then I have 4 more to do. Okay, all 4 boards are flamed and scraped. And I really love the way this, like the end grain came out. You can really see the texture and detail in the grain. I don't know if you can make that out, right? You can probably see that pretty well. But yeah, it really defines it. Look at that, it's beautiful. The frame still looks like that, so we're gonna take care of that tomorrow after the glue dries, but not bad for a day's work. All right, it's been 24 hours. I apologize for the noise, if you can hear it. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna be using this. It's teak oil. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna seal up the wood so that water can't get in. This is a very flat finish. Well, it's not really a finish, it's just the burnt wood right now, but this teak oil really brings out the grain and the beauty of the wood. So I'm not going to bore you with the whole process of putting this on. I'm just going to show what this looks like. It's really tight. And remember, if you have rags when you're done with them, don't leave them in a pile because they will spontaneously combust, and you don't want that. So we're gonna, it's basically wipe on and wipe off, but you can really see, getting it everywhere. So I want to coat all the sides of the wood with this oil and just get a real good coating on all sides. And then so I'm gonna get to this, and then we'll head outside and burn more wood. All right, so they're all done. I'm gonna let them dry. The sheen should go away and it should be a flat finish. I'll leave them out here today to dry. So here's a test piece I did last night. You can see where the teak oil is and where it's not, what a difference it makes. It really darkens up the wood. But you can see it's a flat finish. There's no gloss to it at all. It just kind of seals the wood. So just gotta let this stuff dry. You can see the difference. Okay, so I got it all burnt, and I went through with wire brushes just like I did the top, and I scraped it all. I didn't burn it as deep as I did the top. See, my holes are there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one coat on the bottom underside, make sure I get into these holes really well, and then I'm going to put the feet on and then flip the whole thing over and go over the whole thing with the teak oil just like I did the top. I'm not too concerned about the underside as much as I was the top, because it's not really going to see that much wear and tear, and you know, a vertical surface is a lot better than a horizontal surface as far as taking severe weather. But you can see I really love how the grain looks. That's pretty sweet. All right, it's been 24 hours, and this is what we're going to use for our finish. Remember, you don't want to shake this Varathane because it'll create like air bubbles and stuff. So make sure you stir it up really well before you use it. We're gonna put this on with a satin finish. I'm gonna coat the front and back of all these boards at least one coat, and then the top will get 3. So I'm gonna put one coat on now. It's early in the morning, and then hopefully I can assemble the table later, and then we'll hit the whole thing with 2 more final coats on the top. All right, so let me get started and I'll show you the results. All right, so I put the frame in its final resting place. I'm really glad I used those adjustable height feet inserts. I mean, for one thing, it's going to keep the feet off the ground because we get snow up here and things like that. But also on a patio like this, it's not super even. So, I mean, that foot, you can see it's off the ground quite a bit. But then that foot, I had to raise it an awful lot. But the table's sitting level right now. That back leg way back there, that one's really high off the ground. So now I'm just gonna tweak it. It's got a 6.5 inch overhang this way. I'm just trying to line it up. I also got some 1/4 inch plywood I'm going to be using as a spacer. I'm going to clamp the board down and screw it in from the bottom, and then I ought to do it. I also am going to not forget my tight bond. I'm going to put that underneath the boards, but right now I'm just laying out, and we're going to put this thing together, and then you can see the final results.